Hello everybody, my name is Esteban Moreno and today I'm going to do my integrative case analysis on MILLERCOORS. I'm going to show you a quick video on MILLERCOORS sustainability efforts. Okay, so that was a video on MILLERCOORS' sustainability efforts. You can tell that they really emphasize and put a lot of investment into their educational programs when it comes to MILLERCOORS University, or when it comes to their free rides program that gets designated drivers to drive people that have been consuming alcohol rides back home for free. So next I'm going to go to the next slide. Alright, so here's the introduction. MILLERCOORS is a joint venture that started around 6 to 7 years ago between Sab Miller and Molson Coors Brewing Company. At this point in time, they offer 33 different types of beers, targeting different types of consumers worldwide. They focus on high quality ingredients, primarily focusing on water sustainability, ensuring that water is of the purest substance and resource that is out there on the market. They are also responsible for responsible marketing, so they ensure that when they put out advertisements for the media to watch, for everybody to see, that it's responsible in the fact that they promote responsibility in drinking, and that they promote to the legal age consumer. Next, I'm going to talk about environmental stewardship. They really value the environment and the atmosphere, and do not want to contribute to global warming or greenhouse gases, any greenhouse-like gases or anything of that sort that can negatively impact our world. Then they also value diversification, so they want more minority groups and women to step up to match what the majority is, and that's the typical white male. Alright, so the overview of the organization. Here's the vertical organizational chart, and why I say vertical is because they do follow a hierarchy, which starts from the operating core all the way to the strategic apex. This is something I learned from 451. But at the same time, they have different chief officers, starting with the CEO, Tom Wong. They also have the 10th and the sector of the 10th and Blake beer, which is MILLERCOORS craft beer section. They also have the CFO, and they also have such top management positions like legal and services and human resources. And their operating core consists of 8,134 employees that work for this company. The human resource frame, relations frame, this speaks about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. As you can tell, here's the structure. I'm going to talk about 3 of them briefly. The first one is physiological needs, and that's I can use the consumers of MILLERCOORS, the ones that actually purchase their products. They value the great taste of the quality beer that MILLERCOORS produces. and distributes. The next will be safety needs, and that's the free rides program, and that's an initiative for the consumers and good public relations for MILLERCOORS to make sure that that they're drinking their beer, but they're making sure that they're getting home safely as well. The esteem needs is the self-esteem that one generates after the education and training that they get through MILLERCOORS. So if I was working for their company, I would have more of a higher self-esteem and more confidence in myself to work there because I'm being trained efficiently and effectively. Alright, on the next of the human relations frame, I'm going to talk about Theory Y. And Theory Y by Douglas McGregor speaks about employees that are looked upon as being participative and self-motivated. So they don't need micromanagement and they don't need the extra efforts that the Theory X typically assumes. And they have a program for the Theory Y, which is called Tap the Future, and that's an incentive for entrepreneurs to work with MILLERCOORS to look for new innovative processes or technology to better the company itself. Next, I'll talk about communication issues. First, I'll go into business etiquette. What business etiquette seeks in an organization or an employee himself is professionalism. So you have to be professional, and what that means is, by the way you dress, the way you speak, your vision, your eye contact, your gestures, even your non-verbal gestures are very important. The next one I'll speak about will be communication culture, and I'll emphasize on external and internal networks. The external networks fall in the category of organizations themselves communicating with outside stakeholders, external stakeholders for the most part. What I mean by that is advertising efforts. The billboards that you see out on the freeways. From MILLERCOORS. Customers see that, and MILLERCOORS is communicating with those potential consumers. And the internal networks speak about the chain of command. So when one representative speaks to another colleague of his that's in a higher rank, a higher position in the hierarchy, that's an internal frame of thought of networking. And then crisis management. One has to have a backup plan and make sure that they know how to get out of that hole that might have happened through an unexpected event or through a threat that somewhat appeared. Alright, I'm going to go into intercultural relations. MILLERCOORS has different programs that promote diversity. They have the Tuck School of Business in Dartmouth College, and that trains minority-owned businesses to work better with bigger businesses. And then they have Libertadores, and that promotes and that highlights Latino and Hispanic achievements in working with MILLERCOORS. And then I'll speak about Hofstede and his studies and his perceptual differences. He's saying that no matter what, if one person is different from the other culturally, then they are going to be stereotypes, and we do need to overcome those by overlooking them. Next, I'm going into ethics. Ethics deals with being honest and trustworthy and being transparent. So you have to make sure that when you're communicating with somebody that they are receiving the truth. And you don't always have to be honest with them in an aspect of if it's going to hurt the business, but you might as well just not say anything at all, just avoid the topic. Here there's different rulers for consideration. We have the categorical imperative, where there's a universal view of ethics. Everyone has a similar distinction of what is good and what is bad. Next is utilitarianism, and that is that everybody has a collective sense of happiness, which generates ethics. A veil of ignorance has to do with no one being biased with their political parties or their religion, that they don't let those influence their decision. And then Aristotle's golden mean, well, that's another one as well. And then conclusion and questions. How do you feel about their diversity programs? And then the second one will be, based off my report, what do you think they can do better? So personally, I think that they can recruit more Hispanics or more blacks or more Asians within their company, because right now the majority of their business, at least 54%, is dominated by male of Anglo background. And here's my works cited page. So I have my sources right here. I appreciate your time. Thank you very much. Have a great winter, and hopefully I'll see you at my graduation.